So we're touching on the topic of true manhood. And we were looking at a few different scriptures, but I was sharing with you what life was like for me and probably most of you when we were kids. You know, I was raised in Miami, Florida. My mom moved me there when I was about 5 years old. So it was a big city. And of course, as time went on, unfortunately, my parents divorced, and I didn't have I didn't have a good male role model. Um, it was actually my stepdad that was raising me for many years, and he was a pretty good guy. I mean, he supported me in baseball and playing ball and different things like that. So I can't fault him. Now, he was not a believer, but then when I was about 13 and really needed a man most, they divorced. So I ran around and got into all kinds of trouble, hanging around the wrong people. So I think in an effort to prove my manhood to those who were around me, one of the things we would do, we would use curse words, and it seemed like the more curse words you could jam into a sentence, the more of a man you actually were, or at least that was what you thought. Obviously, that is not true. And just a little funny story, I got born again at age 23, and I had literally had nightmares dreaming that I was cursing in front of church folks because I knew cursing wasn't right. But thank God he changed me, changed my vocabulary, and that kind of thing left. But my point is, we're continually trying to exert our dominance, whether it's in words, belittling other people, um, or whether it is in action, in literal fights, or if it's the competition to accumulate things, proving that you're a great breadwinner. You're better than your neighbor. And isn't that where that whole concept of keeping up with the Joneses comes in? So we're trying to keep up with our neighbors by having more stuff than they did. They get a brand new $50,000 car, and we go out and we buy an $80,000 truck. So we can one up them, and now we feel better than they do. And guys, that is absolutely crazy. And I know that most of you are recognizing that. Then we talked about what Jesus did, literally laying down his life for us when he could have devastated, called down a legion of angels and killed everyone that was trying to kill him. Yet he was laying his life down for a reason. We looked at Jesus' example of manhood when he, the teacher, the Messiah, washed the disciples' feet. Now, he did that, as it says within that scripture, he did that to give them an example of what real manhood was like. But I tell you, as I'm reading this, I see there are some keys in these scriptures. I'm looking between verse 2 and 5 of John 13, 1 through 17, and I see it says the evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Stop there just for a minute. Judas was, in many respects, an enemy in the camp. I don't know all the ins and outs, but Jesus knew from the very beginning this man would betray him. And you know how he treated this man? He treated him the way he would want to be treated. Treating your enemy, the one who would one day betray you, as you would want to be treated yourself, that, my friend, is a true example of manhood. If we're looking back to John Wayne and Clint Eastwood in their movie roles, he would do Simon in, wouldn't he? Or he would do Judas in. He would figure out a way to take him out of the picture. But not Jesus. Jesus, being the ultimate man, treated his enemy the way he wanted to be treated. Now, guys, this brings out a principle of sowing and reaping. You understand that no matter what you sow, God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap. Now, pay attention to that one word, whatsoever. Doesn't matter if you're sowing money, if you're sowing kindness, if you're sowing judgment, if you're sowing mercy. Whatsoever a man sows, that will he also reap. Jesus treated Judas the way he would want to be treated, and in doing so, he only sowed good seed. And that's what you and I have an opportunity to do. We can sow good seed to the people that are treating us poorly, knowing that whatever we sow, we're going to reap. It doesn't matter if your enemy deserves whatever it is you're considering dishing out. Whatever you sow, you'll also reap. So this is a principle that stands the power of sowing and reaping. No matter what, we want to sow kindness, and we want to treat other people the way we want to be treated, because we are going to receive that in return. So really, you could be doing that in a selfish way, and I'm not necessarily recommending that, but you do need to think, hey, whatever I sow, I'm going to reap. And that principle can constrain you when you want to lash out at someone who has done you wrong. So a real man treats other people the way he would want to be treated, no matter what the circumstances. All right, well, I don't want to go too long, so we'll pick up where we left off in our next devotional.